Hello everyone, good evening to the European Quidditch Cup 2017 group stage draw. We're here in Antwerp and like to welcome every single one of you tuning in into this stream tonight. Tonight we are having the group stage draw of the biggest continental club competition in the world. It promises to be an exciting evening because we'll all find out which challenges await the 32 challengers of the European Quidditch Cup 2017, who will try to go to the final in Mechelen, Belgium on 25 and 26th of March 2017. I'm Lawrence Greenwith, and I'll be your host of the evening, but also be your tournament director of the tournament itself. With me I have Chula Bruggeling, who will be your co-host, and she'll explain a little bit about how you can join into the action tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Like Lauren just explained, my name is Chula Bruggeling. I am your co-host for tonight, and I'm also your assistant tournament director for EQC 2017. As a lot of you already noticed, you can comment on the live stream itself, and you can talk with each other like that. But we're also going to be asking you to use Twitter. If you do use Twitter, please use the hashtags EQC 2017 or March to Mechelen. And at the end of the evening, after this live stream, we will choose some of our favorite tweets from tonight, and they will be retweeted on Quidditch Europe Twitter.
Thank you for that information, Chula. And I hope we'll get some fun tweets by the end of the evening. Of course, you're not only joining into the stream to talk about us or to talk about what is happening. Of course, the huge delay in the stream, that's probably going to be the main topic of tonight. But you're all here also to find out in which group every team will be in the European Quidditch Cup. Let us take a moment to explain how the group stage draw will take place.
Okay, so every one of you probably knows that there will be 32 teams at EQC this year. So these 32 qualifying teams have been divided into 3 different pots. These pots have been made based on the rankings both of the European Quidditch Cup 2016 and the national qualifications within NGBs for this year's European Quidditch Cup. So let us first take a look at these 3 pots now.
In pot 1 we find the following teams: Titans Paris from France, Antwerp A from Belgium, Warwick Quidditch Club from the UK, Metty Unicorns from Turkey, Velociraptors Quidditch from the UK, Werewolves of London from the UK, and Virtute Romana Quidditch from Italy.
Now we'll switch over to pot 2. And in pot 2 we find the Grizzlebears from the UK, Green Towers Quidditch Torino from Italy, Liège Leviathans from Belgium, Tornadoes Quidditch Club from the UK, Rhinos Bonn from Germany, ODTU Hippogriffs from Turkey, NTNUI Rumpeldunk from Norway, and OSI Vikings also from Norway.
In pot 3 we find 16 more teams, but we'll go over them by 8. First we find Paris Frog from France, Barcelona Eagles from Catalonia, Cruikshanks Lyon from France, Brussels Quaffles from Belgium, 3 River Dragons Passau from Germany, Itu Honeybees from Turkey, Vienna Vanguards of Austria, and Milano Mannequins Quidditch from Italy.
And then the last 8 teams of this EQC will be Lumos Compostela from Spain, Darmstadt Athenas from Germany, Biscaya Boggarts, also from Spain, Warsaw Mermaids from Poland, the Domtower Dementors from the Netherlands, and then the 3 emerging area teams, which are Dublin Dragafta Dragons from Ireland, Imola Argonauts from Slovenia, and Prague Pegasus from the Czech Republic.
First of all teams in pot 1 will be randomly assigned to a group. Apparently there is a problem with audio that we are noticing, so before we'll explain the action of group stage, we'll Be right back.
Het probleem is, voor een of andere reden komt dat getraag binnen. Ja, sorry, dat is het enige, dat is, ik hoorde nu ook, maar ik hoorde nog niet. Oh, je mag dat niet los switchen.
Ja, dit is normaal.
We moeten al langer van kijken.
Een kabel langer.
Met die andere.
Ja, test.
And we should be back on air. Sorry for that audio issue. Our technician fixes it as soon as possible, and I hope you're experiencing a better sound now. Meanwhile, we have noticed some problems that as well, that the last 8 teams, apparently the graphic is missing currently, but the teams that Chula told are definitely correct.
Yeah.
Also, on the first pot, apparently we missed saying Durmstrang. They are also in pot 1. So if that team comes up later as pot 1 team, don't be surprised. They are a pot 1 team. Anyway, let us now explain how the group stage draw will take place. First of all teams of pot 1 are going into the bowl and will be randomly drawn. The first team picked will go in group A, the second one in group B, the third one in group C, and so on until all groups have been filled. The pot 2 is a little bit different from pot 1. And I'm just going to read it, sorry, because it's a pretty hard explanation to do, but the teams of pot 2 will be drawn into the first available group. Available groups are groups that have not filled all 2 spaces, so that means have only received the pot 1 team so far, and do not have a team from the same NGB of the drawn team. This means that no team from the same nation will play each other in the group stage of the cup. If a group is skipped due to not being available, the next drawn team will be placed in the group that is available.
Okay, and then on to pot 3, which is, as you've noticed, a bit bigger than the first 2 pots. Unfortunately, that also means that the group draw is a bit more complicated again. So instead of drawing a group for pot 3, we will draw an NGB. And after the NGB is drawn, any teams that have been qualified for EQC from that NGB will be placed in the first available group. Then we pick the next NGB, we again divide their teams over the first available groups, and so on and so on. This will help make sure that no teams will play teams from their own countries, which obviously you won't all travel all the way to Belgium just to play the teams you already play so many times.
However, that you could potentially play a team from your nation in groups in bracket play,
yes,
but that's only for day 2, so don't worry for day 1. But after that, loads and loads of information, we're just going to get started. We are going to repeat a little bit about pot 2 and 3 when we come to it, but first we'll start with the easiest thing, and that is just all the pot 1 teams we're going to assign into the different groups. I'll be doing that. So let's get started. In Group A, we'll have Warwick Quidditch Club. In Group B, we'll have Virtute Romana Quidditch from Italy. In Group C, we'll have Mechelen Unicorns from Turkey. We're just waiting for the graphic to update, just to be sure. We could get you some information about the already drawn teams in case you want to. But currently, Warwick Quidditch Club is in Group A. They won the Southern Cup, so they were the first place for the qualifiers. And they also took silver at last season's British Quidditch Club. They last year at EQC 2016 they got in 5th place. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals against Antwerp A. Well, back then it was still Dodo A. And this is their 2nd time participating. Meanwhile, you should see Group C, Mechelen Unicorns from Turkey there. They are the Turkish champion, and they will go in Group C. In Group D, we'll find Velociraptors Quidditch Club. This UK team will be their first participation at EQC. We'll now move on to Group E. And that will be Antwerp A from Belgium. They took silver at last year's EQC and are hoping to do better this year. In Group F, we'll find the Werewolves of London of the UK. Two more groups to go. In Group G, we'll find the 2 times European champion, Titans Paris from France. There's only one more team to go, and that should be the one team that I didn't mention earlier, and that you shouldn't be surprised about, but it's Durmstrang from the UK.
Okay, so that were the 8 pot 1 teams that have now been divided into the groups, which means we're moving on towards pot 2, which are these cards that I will be drawing. As we said before, they will go in the first available group unless that group already has a team from that country. So let's see if we can put someone in Group A. Group A already has Warwick Quidditch Club, and it will face against Green Taurus Quidditch Torino from Italy. Moving on to Group B. The team is NTNUI Rumpeldunk from Norway, so they can be put into Group B. And we're moving towards Group C. Which is OSI Vikings, also from Norway. They will be facing Meta Unicorns in Group C. Moving towards Group D. We have the Brizzle Bears. They cannot be put into Group D because Group D already has a UK team, so they will be facing Antwerp A in Group E.
That's a rematch from last year, actually.
It is.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be an interesting one. So let's see if we can put someone in Group D after all. We've got Rhinos Bonn from Germany, who will be put into Group D facing the Velociraptors from the UK. The next team we have is ODTU Hippogriffs from Turkey, which will be placed into Group F facing the Werewolves of London. The last 2 teams, we've got Tornadoes Quidditch Club, which will be facing against Titans Paris in Group G. Which means that lastly, we have Liège Leviathans from Belgium facing against Durhamstrang.
So let's quickly review these groups again. In Group A, we have Warwick Quidditch Club and Green Taurus Quidditch Torino. In Group B, we have Virtuti Romana Quidditch and NTNUI Rumpeldunk. In Group C, we have Meta Unicorns and OSI Vikings. In Group D, we have Velociraptors Quidditch and Rhinos Bonn. In Group E, we have Antwerp A and Brizzle Bears. In Group F, we have Werewolves of London and ODTU Hippogriffs. In Group G, we have Titans Paris and Tornadoes Quidditch Club. And in Group H, we have Durmstrang and Liège Leviathans. Now we'll move on to pot 3, which we will start with drawing of the NGBs. Once an NGB is drawn, we'll take all the cards back out and put in the actual teams from the NGB. However, there's actually 2 catches, is that Quidditch UK and Norges Rumpeling I think that's how you pronounce it. They already have all their teams in a group, so they will not be drawn, so don't be weirded out if they are not shown. The first NGB drawn will be the Belgian Quidditch Federation. However, due there only being one more team from the Belgian Quidditch Federation, we do not have to empty the spot, and we can just show that Brussels Quaffles will go in Group A. Let's move on to the next NGB because there was only one left in the Belgians. The next NGB will be Quidditch Nederland.
Doing good.
There's also only one team from the Netherlands, which is Domtower Dementors. Will enter Group B. Let's move on to the next NGB. Which will be Associazione Italiana Quidditch. There's also only one team from Italy left in pot 3, and that is Milano Menegins Quidditch. Milano Menegins. C. Our technician is struggling with the many names, but there are 32 teams. But so Milano Menegins will enter in Group C. Let's draw the next NGB. Which will be Fédération du Quidditch Français.
That's two.
There are two teams in here, so we'll empty the bowl and put the two French teams in the bowl. These two teams are Paris Prague and Cruikshanks Lyon.
Yeah.
The team drawn is Cruikshanks Lyon Quidditch. They will enter Group D.
Which means, for those paying attention, that Group E is going to be a very interesting group this year.
Definitely. And again,
Yes.
they very much like that.
I'm sure all three teams will be very happy to hear.
This is just going to be a regroup of last year because Paris Prague will be drawn in Group E. We enter all the NGBs back in the bowl. And let's see which NGB is next. It's Quidditch Slovenia, an emerging area, one of the first emerging team entering. And from Quidditch Slovenia, we have the Imona Argonauts going in Group F. Next NGB. Will be Associació de Quidditch Catalunya. Also only one team from Catalonia, which is Barcelona Eagles. They will enter Group G. There's place for one more team in Group H. Well, actually 2 more teams, but after a team is drawn here, Chula will take over from me. Let's see who will finish off Group H. It will be the hard name of Ceska Atatsotse Pamperpalu. I hope I pronounced that right.
We did our best. We did our best.
Tried. I tried Google Translate, that's what they said. It's from the Czech Republic. In case you are wondering, this is the Czech Republic. And that's also, again, an emerging team. It's Prague Pegasus in Group H.
Okay. And then, like Lauren said, I will be taking over for the 4th and final teams. The first NGB drawn is Quidditch Ireland. Ireland is returning to the European scene, and this will be, I think, their first actual EQC.
Yeah.
So first EQC, but obviously not the first European tournament we've seen Ireland at. The Irish team is the Dublin Drogheda Dragons, and they will be going into Group A, which means Group A is now filled. Some small issues.
The font was too big.
It's a bit of a long name, so it's having some troubles with our graphic design. Just barely fits. Okay, so let's move on.
Dublin, please take a smaller name.
Okay, it's gonna be nice for a schedule as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the next NGB is Quidditch Energy from Turkey, obviously. There is 1 Turkish team left, which are the E2 Honeybees. That will be placed into Group B.
That is the currently wrong team in Group B. Yeah, okay, never mind, it's correct. You were just in the wrong order. Oh. We seem to have an issue that we only have 2 NGBs left. There seems to have lost some cards of the NGBs. That's no issue. We are just going to enter the last 6 teams in the pot. Because there would currently still be Germany and Spain, who have 2 teams left. If a Spanish team or a German team is drawn, we're just going to enter the next team from that same NGB in the next group. So just hold on, we are going to fold every single one of them. That it's fair. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we're just continuing on with the draw. Apologies for the problems of tonight. So the next team will be Lumos Compostela from Spain, which means Lumos Compostela will go into Group C, and the other Spanish team, the Vizcaya Boggarts, will go into Group D.
Lumos Compostela in Group C.
And in Group D, the Vizcaya Boggarts. Vizcaya Boggarts into Group D. Graphic design is very difficult tonight. Yes, and that's Group D. Okay, on to the next team. The next team are the Warsaw Mermaids from Poland, and they will be going into Group E. Group F will get the Darmstadt Athenas from Germany. And then the second German team, or actually the third German team, Three River Dragons Passau, going into Group G. That means the last and remaining team, which is the Vienna Vanguards, will be put into Group H.
Let's run down through all the groups again. In Group A, we have Warwick Quidditch Club from the UK, Green Toros Quidditch Torino from Italy, Brussels Waffles from Belgium, and Dublin Dryocta Dragons Quidditch Club from Ireland. In Group B, we have Virtute Romana Quidditch from Italy, NTNUI Rumpeldunk from Norway, Dom Tower Dementors from the Netherlands, and Itu Honeybees from Turkey. In Group C, we have Matthew Unicorns from Turkey, Ozai Vikings from Norway, Lumos Compostela from Spain, and Milano Menegins Quidditch from Italy. In Group D, we have Velociraptors Quidditch from the UK, Rhinos Bonn from Germany, Cruikshanks Lyon Quidditch from France, and Vizcaya Boggarts from Spain.
And over to Group E, where we see a lot of rematches this year. Antwerp A from Belgium, Grizzlebears from the UK, and Paris Frog from France, all meeting each other for the second time. And the fourth team in Group E will be the Warsaw Mermaids from Poland. Then onto Group F, where we find the Werewolves of London from the UK, ODTU Hippogriffs from Turkey, the Iona Argonauts from Slovenia, and the Darmstadt Athenas from Germany. Group G will find Titans Paris from France, Tornadoes Quidditch Club from the UK, Barcelona Eagles, Catalonia, and the Three River Dragons Passau from Germany. And finally, Group H, where you find Durham Strength from the UK, Liège Leviathans from Belgium, Prague Pegasus from the Czech Republic, and the Vienna Vanguards from Austria.
Knowing the names of the teams you'll be playing is one thing, but you don't know exactly who will be playing for those teams. That's why in the next 12 hours we will be releasing all the public rosters of all 32 teams on our website. I hope you are ready to play these games. I hope you're ready to play these games because I am very excited to see these games unfold. The releasing of the rosters is not the only thing. In also the next 12 hours we will be releasing the final graphic of all the groups together that you can see in one beautiful thing. And the full gameplay schedule will be released on Monday, and that will be without any technical difficulties.
Well, let's certainly hope so.
Let's hope so.
Okay, well, I had something really nice prepared about how we all know that Quidditch live streams are always filled with technical difficulties, and how we were really grateful for all the technical help we've had today and tonight. Obviously, we're still really grateful. Unfortunately, there were some issues that even our technicians couldn't help with, such as failing internet in the entire building. You never know what happens. But anyway, we are very grateful to our technical crew from tonight, consisting of Jan Dubois, Toon de Jonge,
who's coming online now?
Toon de Jonge,
Thank you.
and Nathan de Ridder. So thank you guys very much for helping us out with this live stream, even though we had
So if there's
A lot of
someone to blame, it's them. No, it's okay.
It's not mostly the building and failing internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I hope you enjoy this quality, and that's all pretty much due
We'll
to
show you how it looks from the other side.
We're going to give you a view behind the scenes,
Behind the scenes of the
and then you might might realize, oh, that seems like a lot.
So we've got the audio, 2 cameras. Something I had to put down here just to make sure you've got good audio, because yeah, we had technical difficulties. Then going over here where the producer is, he's like cutting the images. Sharp hat, motherfucker. Then my desk over here, and yeah, graphics, but just yeah, not good, but well, you had graphics though, and not to forget the cameraman.
Okay.
Boy.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's finish this up. Thank you all for staying so late. We know it was late. We very much apologize. But thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into our live stream, and we're looking forward to seeing the tweets and messages you might have sent during this live stream.
And then we have one more thing to say, and that's see you in 3 weeks in Mechelen, Belgium. Thank you all.
Good night.
Little image pass from Smack.